Hi, I'm Stapler. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and this is Sonic Second, where we talk about every single episode of Sonic Underground.
Dear, 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 dear. Hi, I'm Chrissy Duffy. My pronouns are she, her.
And we're not actually talking about an episode this time. We're gonna be reading fan fiction.
Yes, my fan fiction specifically.
This fan fiction was published on July 5th, 2013. That is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like in my single digits back then. I was super obsessed with Furbies. What instrument do you play? I think that's the title.
Yeah, that's the title of it.
Chapter 1, Rescue, Deathy. Okay, before the confusion starts due to a crummy summary, this was the thought I had in my head before thanks to Flying High 205, who asked if I could write a longer story with Sonic Underground and Tails. It's finally been typed up. So everyone, thank that awesome dude/dudette for asking and finally putting me into gear. I start school next week, so quick updates.
Oh, yeah. So I remember what was going on. This was right before I started college.
Okay, something I hate about this site is you can't select text, and I get that's because it doesn't want you to copy paste, but I like selecting text when I read.
Yeah.
So here's our basis for this tale. Tails joins the Sonic Underground. Hopefully this story won't be more than 3 chapters, but you never know with me. So I'm guessing you used to write things that were like 20 chapters long.
I've never made it to 20 chapters, but like I would always plan to write very short stories, and then they would wind up being longer.
Okay.
So this was like, by this point I already had like a couple of actual web novels and short stories published digitally via Smashwords and stuff, because I believe I had started publishing books around this time, because I kept having like these ideas. I wanted to do like short stories.
Okay, hold on one moment. Be right back.
Alright. Do. They made a vow her mother will be found. Sonic Underground.
Okay, I'm back. I got frozen grapes.
Woo, frozen grapes.
Have you ever had frozen grapes before?
I don't think so. Mostly because I don't like a lot of frozen food, so I've never like sought to like freeze my grapes or anything.
Hold on.
But I'm just a picky person.
Yeah, I recently discovered how great they are because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I limit my sugar intake because it affects me, and so I wanted a low sugar version of like my brain stopped.
Candy.
Lemonade. Well, okay.
Lemonade.
Yeah, that too, yeah. But specifically, I wanted like cold stuff that was nice, and so I mentioned that it was suggested me grapes, frozen grapes, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that, and I love them.
That's good. I'm a textured eater, so I don't like foods that are like too hard or anything. I also don't like shredded chicken and pork, so pulled pork sandwiches are a no-go, which is pretty much a sin since I live in the South.
Yeah, but yeah, with like low sugar versions of candy, yeah, I eat a lot more fruit now because
they're natural sugars and they come with vitamins and stuff that candy doesn't. My husband just doesn't like sweet things, so getting him to eat fruit's a pain.
Do you want to take turns reading like paragraphs and stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Especially since I can't eat, or since I can't read while I eat.
Yes, so I will pick up where we left off, which was, disclaimer, I own nothing but my thoughts, which is true. I own nothing but brain thoughts, and it is mostly vomit and garbage. I apologize now. Welcome to Mobius, where the world is being run by a power-hungry madman named Robotnik. Excuse me, Robotnik. The insane man turns anyone against him into a robot with his machine, the roboticizer. The thing is worse than hell. I'd rather die than be taken away to become some metallic puppet of his. I guess you can say I have a dark outlook on things. But who wouldn't? This place is a hellhole and we have no light at the end of the tunnel. Well, we do have a light. Somewhere. Queen Alina and her 3 children. Supposedly, they're all freedom fighters working to free us. But I haven't seen much done. I doubt they even exist. They're probably just some fairy tale made up to give us kids some hope. But eventually, we grow up and realize there is no hope, no light, no way out other than death. But I'm too stubborn, too hard-headed to give up without a fight. As I speak, I'm running for what I believe is my life. 2 big guys are chasing me down. One is a gray wolf with straggly fur and orange eyes. He's wearing some strange armor and a cape. Seriously, a cape. I think he's trying too hard to look cool and threatening. The other is obviously the dumber one, but he's still stronger. He's a large, muscular, orange-brown dingo. He wears purple glasses, which means his vision is bad. I noticed earlier that the wolf had some remote that causes the dingo to change shape. It's kinda creepy. I have to lose them quick. Let me drink my water, because hydration's important.
Sure is.
Yes. I twist and turn around anything on this street that I can. There aren't that many people on the street, unfortunately. If there was, I would get lost in the crowd. So I tip over trash cans and carts, hoping that'll trip them over the fallen content. I made sure to cover myself up so they can't see my face, and to disguise myself thoroughly underneath a blue cloak. I always made sure to cover up my obscene birthmark. I turn down an alley and curse my lot as I see a dead end in front of me. I'm going to have to climb over and pray those guys slip on some soda back in the street. I began climbing over the slick metal and half-brick wall. My hand almost reaches the top when I'm forced back down, being choked by the blue cloak that surrounds me. I've got you, you brat, the wolf sneers. I try to shake out of his grasp, but he's stronger than I wish I wasn't so puny. Way to go, Sleet, the dingo congratulates him as he enters the alley. Looks like he fell over some of the stuff I threw in their way by all the bumps and bruises on him. Now, to take him back to Dr. Robotnik, he chuckled. Something about this guy's voice really makes me want to punch him in the face. Hold this brat and don't let him get away. And don't screw up, Dingo, he ordered as he tossed me to the giant orange monster. He held me tightly, but at least he was nice enough not to choke me. I guess the idiot is nicer than he seems. They dragged me back to their car tank-looking vehicle. Seriously, I wasn't sure what it was. Fleet grabbed some shackles and forced them on me and tried to wiggle my way out. That's when it happened. And boy, I wasn't prepared for the battle I would soon be in. Not prepared at all. And then we switched to third-person point of view. I would agree. Fantastic.
The Sonic Underground van sped down the near-empty street with purpose. Manic was driving like a mad, like a madman, as Sonic was cheering him on to go faster. Sonia was sitting in her seat, trying to hold on to her lunch. Dudes, Sleet and Dingo are in sight, Manic announced as he stared at Robotnik's henchmen. And they got some dude in a blue cloak.
What are those idiots doing chasing after somebody like that? Sonic questioned as he scratched his head. I got some intel that they were chasing the person who was piloting that plane we saw, Sonia stated as she pushed her hair out of her eyes so she could read the computer. Wow, that's the dude who flew that hot red plane over the outer wall of the city? Dude's got guts, Manic smiled as him and his brother touched fists. I'll say, I thought Robotnik destroyed every kind of plane that didn't work for him. The blue hedgehog opened the passenger door. I know what words are. Southern accent is strong. Well, let's go save him. A blue streak of wind passed the van and headed straight towards the two. He hit Dingo hard, and then he went flying into a wall, dropping the blue cloak boy on the ground. He was already shackled by his hands and feet. His mouth was agape as he stared at his savior, a blue hedgehog with light green eyes. "Hey, you okay?" the blue hedgehog asked. Too embarrassed and too stubborn, the boy in blue only stared at him for a moment, letting his words sink in. "You okay?" He hadn't heard anyone ask him that in years. He quickly nodded as he stood up. "Cool," he gave a thumbs up. "My bro will be here with a van in a moment. Hop in real quick and we'll get those shackles off for you. Until then, hang tight. I'll take care of Sleet and Dingo."
Not so fast, Rodent. Sleet screeched.
Screeched. I think I can't spell.
No, I think it might be me. He pressed a button on his arm and SWAT bots came out of the tank. They instantly locked onto Sonic, going, "Priority 1, Rodent." The boy in blue shuffled his feet over the street curb as Hedgehog moved on the speed of sound, homing attacking the bots. The van pulled up and there was a pink hedgehog with blue eyes at the passenger door. She reached out her hand and grabbed him and pulled him inside the van. He let out an eep as his face collided with the floor. He was pulled by a green hedgehog. "You okay, dude?" he asked as he sat him up in the passenger seat. "Sonia, be careful. We here to rescue him, not hurt him."
This is me forgetting that there's supposed to be "we're here to rescue him." I often leave out small words when I'm typing really fast.
Yeah.
And you'll notice I just leave that in for fanfictions because I don't edit any of my fanfics.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Life's too short. He nagged.
I go and I edit them after I reread them after several years. That's how they get edited.
He nagged after the pink hedgehog, who hopped out of the car to help the blue hedgehog. He reached over and closed the passenger door. "We're escaping while they cover," he told the boy in the blue cloak. He spun the van around quickly and began to speed away. He then pressed a button and let it going to the steering wheel.
"Are you nuts?" the boy screamed. "Dying is not on my list of things to do today." "Dude, relax," the brown-eyed hedgehog stated with a thick surfer accent. "It's on autopilot. We're perfectly safe. Now let me get those shackles off you." He pulled out some lockpicks from the pouch at his waist. The boy stared at him. "My name's Manic. What's yours?" The attempt at small talk didn't work as he picked the locks on the shackle. Once they were off, the green hedgehog rolled down the window and tossed them out. "Sometimes they have tracking devices on them. You're safe now. So what's your name? You didn't seem to answer earlier. You feeling okay, dude?" The boy stared at him for a moment but didn't reply. He brought his knees to his chest and rested his chin on them as he stared at the stranger. Later they regrouped. Sonic and Sonia were bickering about the best way to handle SWAT bots, and Manic was drumming a beat on the steering wheel of the van. The boy watched them as if they were cable. Then the blue hedgehog zipped in front of him. "Hey, what's your name? We've heard a rumor that you were the one driving that red plane earlier. So, is that why Robotnik's goons are after you?" He spoke quickly. The boy simply stared into his green eyes in shock. "I'm waiting," he began, tapping his foot. The boy looked at the three hedgehogs around him. His mind was racing. And then he opened his mouth. He fainted. And that is the end of Chapter 1. Enjoy Chapter 1.
I'm curious. Are you reading through my stream or are you on the website?
I'm on the website. Yeah, I have it up on my browser. I took speech therapy because I always talk really fast. My dad said I used to sound like Cousin It from Addams Family. And so I also learned how to talk from my older sister, who's only 2 years older than me. So a toddler taught the baby to talk, so I have a speech impediment. So I was in speech therapy from 2nd all the way up to 5th grade. So that's second, third, fourth, and fifth. So that's 4 years of speech therapy. And one of my speech therapists, legit, she just opened up a book. It was about duck, and I had to read from that. That was my speech therapy. That's all I remember from it. So I got really good at reading, and I had to read it aloud.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I just go a little bit faster than other people.
It's been a long
But
time.
reading aloud really helped with diction.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've read things aloud aside from reading scripts. Somehow reading scripts is easier. Actually, no, it's not easier. But, like, it's a shorter amount of time, so I don't realize how much I struggle with it. So do you mind just reading the whole thing? I mean, I don't want to be rude. I just, like...
No, I don't mind reading the whole thing. I actually have, like, a YouTube channel where I do just, like, read them. Like, I just read fan fictions, I read some of my original stuff. I read Japanese light novels that have been translated into English that I find.
Okay.
Currently, I've been reading I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem. I just read them aloud and record them, and they go under my speed paints very nicely.
Okay, I might listen to those.
Yep, right. And we're on chapter 2. So are we going to chapter 2, or do you want to discuss what all I did with chapter 1?
I guess we can discuss what you did with chapter 1, except I don't know what to say.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah, all I have is, I like that you included the detail of the eye color, because when you mentioned green eyes, I was like, okay, so this is modern Sonic design.
Yeah, I'm just like, all characters have colors. So I'm just like, the thing is, like, I've changed how I've designed Sonia now. So Sonia and Sonic have the same eye color, which to me, they get from Alina. And then Manic has brown eyes, which he gets from his father.
That's your thought process now?
That's my thought process now.
Okay.
But I kept seeing a lot of fan art where they would color Sonia's eyes blue, and that influenced me, and that's why Sonia's eyes were blue in this fan fiction. But I've changed it.
I see a lot of fan art where Sonia has blue eyes and Manic has pink eyes, and I think the idea is, like, they're all mismatched eyes that go with...
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Most of the Manic fan art I've seen is Manic has brown eyes. So I always draw Manic with brown eyes. And I think I also gave him brown eyes because Uncle Chuck had brown eyes in a lot of media. And Manic, to me, is the cook of the group.
I think it's so funny that we're talking about, like, the most basic thing, eye color, but it's the most interesting thing to us.
Right, it is. Because, like,
Sonic
these characters had all black eyes because it was easier to animate and draw when they all had, like, beady black eyes.
That, or they just didn't think to add that detail back then.
Yeah. Well, from an art animation standpoint, it makes sense while it was just black eyes because they're easier to draw. You don't have to worry about painting them. You can just ink them in.
I don't even think they were thinking about animation because that was just the design for him, and then like in the cartoon they were just like, well, that's what he looks like.
Yep, I feel like that design for the games was basically, we only have so much memory on this card and so much pixel space.
Yeah.
And you have to consider like your limitations and what you can do with your design.
I guess technically that does have to do with animation because, like, sprites are animated.
Yep, it is legit art limitations, which is always fun.
I don't think I have anything else to say about Chapter 1.
Alright, we will continue forward with Chapter 2, which is titled Deals. This is a 5-chapter fan fiction. Hopefully it's not too long. 13,000 words. It is long. I will get tired at some point.
Okay, like, when you get tired, we can just stop this and, like, maybe pick up another time.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go on. We're gonna skip my little author's note. It's just me thanking everyone, first 5 people who, like, reviewed the fan fiction. Disclaimer is still the same, and title is Deals. The orange fox awoke in a bunk bed to the van. His head was ringing as he slowly sat up. He questioned what was going on, and then it all came back to him. Flying his plane over the city walls, being shot down by SWAT bots, running away from the wolf and dingo, and then being saved by 3 hedgehogs. One of them moved as fast as the speed of sound. It took his breath away. Was there really someone like that? Or was he just having a bad dream? He wrapped his blue cloak around his body tighter, trying to feel some comfort. Maybe he could smell the faded scent of his father. He hadn't seen him in years. He could barely remember what he looked like. All he had left of him was this blue cloak. That word's gonna be hard for me. Hey, you're awake now, a male voice cheered. You feeling okay, dude? He looked up to find a green hedgehog staring at him with a happy smile. You hungry? I can make you something. At the sound of food, the child's stomach growled. The brown-eyed teen simply chuckled. I'll take that as a yes. He walked over to a small kitchen area. I hope you like chili dogs, 'cause that's all my brother bought when he went shopping. Chili dog? The boy questioned. He thought it sounded familiar, but he had never had one before. What's that? Did my mundo cool ears just hear what I thought they heard? Another male voice questioned. In a flash, light green eyes stared into the little boy's blue ones. Did my ears just hear you ask what a chili dog is? The boy slowly nodded as he shrank back some. What had he just unleashed onto himself? You poor kid! Are you sure you're not sick? The blue hedgehog placed his hand on his forehead. You do feel a little warm. Manic, bring me the thermometer. I'm sure he's fine, the green hedgehog assured. He placed the food on the tray and put the plate on the table. Come sit down and eat, kid. Don't worry about Sonic. He doesn't bite. And neither do I, okay? With this assurance, the boy crawled off the bunk bed and walked over to the table. He sat down and stared at the food before him. He had never had anything like this before. He sniffed it, and it smelled good. His stomach let out a growl, demanding food immediately. So he tentatively picked up the chili dog and took a small bite. After chewing and swallowing, a huge smile came across his face. This is delicious, he said between bites. Well, will you look at that? Sonia rolled her eyes from the front seat. Another person who loves chili dogs. Well, duh. Who wouldn't like chili dogs, Sonic stated. He turned back to the orange fox. So, what's your name, kiddo? The orange fox looked up at him with wide eyes. The kind of look that screamed, I'm in so much trouble. He just stared at the blue hedgehog for a while, running over the possibilities in his head. He could tell them his name, but then they would ask for questions. Questions he wasn't sure if he could answer. They'll see me, a freak. Everyone always does, even those who claim they accepted me didn't. I can tell by the look on their faces. Oh, your name is Miles, they'll say. What kind of name is that? That's a stupid name. Sorry, coughing. And those comments will just go on and on. You have two tails. You're such a freak. What kind of mutant are you? Were you made in one of Robotnik's labs? I've dealt with those comments all my life. I'm tired of hearing them. I'm tired of being hurt and hunted. I'm tired of people handing me over to scientists so they can use me as a lab rat. I'm sick of it. It'll probably be best not to tell them anything. Just thank them for the food and leave. Sure, they saved me. But how can I trust strangers? For all I know, I could have just eaten a drugged hot dog. So it was delicious. The boy wrapped himself in his blue cloak. Thank you very much for the food, he said in a timid voice. But I really should be going. Where do you need to go? The blue hedgehog asked as he stared at the boy with a friendly smile. The kid was trying to hide something. Can you tell us why Butnick's goons were chasing you? The boy just shrugged. I don't know, but I really should get going. Really? Well, I heard a rumor. Can I tell it to you? I'm going to anyway, Sonic smiled. I heard from a couple of little birdies that you were the one flying that way past cool plane over the city. And since Robotnik doesn't approve of anything, he had his SWAT bots shoot you down. I also heard that when Egg Belly took over, he destroyed any and all planes that he couldn't control. The fox just stared at him with wide eyes. He was caught red-handed. What else did this guy know? Chill out, buddy. We're the good guys. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to help. But we can't help if you don't talk to us. So, no need to be scared, okay? Okay, he nodded. Guess I'm stuck with these guys. Yes, the plane was me. That's why they were after me. But I have to get to my plane, or at least what's left of it. but who exactly are you guys? Are you freedom fighters or something? Yeah, isn't it obvious that we're freedom fighters, dude? Manic asked as he sat down. Let's go over intros again. I'm Manic, I'm the drummer and mechanic guy. This blue guy here is Sonic, he's the guitar and super speed freak with a love for chili dogs. Up front over there is our sister Sonia, she's the pianist and the spinding annoying princess. And we're the Sonic Underground. We're a freedom fighter group and a band, isn't that cool? So what about you, little guy? The orange fox stared at him for a moment. Okay, this is a typo. I left out the word you. What are you doing? Looking for Queen Alina or something? He asked jokingly, not believing what he was hearing. Yeah, we are. She's our mom. Manic stated with a smile. The boy's jaw dropped. You're joking. Lying, even, he stammered. Queen Alina and her kids...
If I wrote that, I would have made Manic be like, how did you know? Because that is so...
Right?
That's such an out-of-nowhere guess.
I think it's like I was just moving, like, basics along, and I was just like, cool, moving along. Fact stated. In story now. Because I was just like... Also, I was just like, I need this beat to happen before I can get certain scenes. Because there are some times, like, where I have scenes that I don't care for, and I just wrote them so I could get to my next scene. Which is why recently, most of my fanfictions don't even make it to fanfiction.net. They make it to like a random blog somewhere because like they're less than like 100 words and they're really just tiny little scenes. Like I have a lot of Silver Espio fanfictions that I have been writing in a random Google Doc. Alright, where was I am on the slide. The boy's jaw dropped. You're joking. Lying, even, he stammered. Queen Alina and her kids are most likely dead. There's no way they're alive. And there's no way you're them. His head was spinning from all this new information. The two male hedgehogs exchanged a look of confusion. Sonic was the first to speak. Well, we're alive, and we are Alina's kids. Why else would the SWAT bots call us Priority 1? Who knows, the fox shrugged. Maybe you're sickly robots or actors who work for Robotnik and are trying to capture and roboticize me, he shouted as he stood up from his seat. He was tired of the lies he was hearing. Queen Alina and her kids were probably captured by Robotnik and roboticized long ago. Or worse, killed. Either way, they're not around anymore. He turned on his heel as he made his way towards the door. He wasn't about to stay and be turned into some mindless robot. And even if they were actually freedom fighters, he wasn't in the mood for more lies from anyone. In a blue gust of wind, the blue hedgehog stood in front of the orange fox in a moment. His arms were crossed as he stared down the young kid. I don't take kindly to being called a liar. My name is Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. So what's your name, Mr. I Have Trust Issues? I like to clear up this misunderstanding, and you being all standoffish isn't helping. So let's clear the air. What's your name and your deal? My name? Why is that so important? The fox shot back. Because I'd like to know what to call you. We don't have to have a conversation. Just let me go, the boy ordered as he pushed the blue hedgehog out of his way and attempted to pull at the door. Those doors are airtight, dude. They only open when the van is either stopped or either I enter a specific passcode into the steering wheel, the green hedgehog stated. So let's save time and just talk. Sonia, keep driving. But shouldn't we take him home to his parents, Sonia asked, her blue eyes looking over at the rear view mirror. Nah, that would be a waste of time, Manic waved his hand. I doubt he knows where they are or if they're even alive. He extended his hand out to the orange fox. Come with me, I want to show you something. He smiled warmly at the kid. The fox thought about it for a moment, but relented and took Manic's hand. Manic walked him over to the end of the van and pressed a button on the wall. It opened to reveal another room extended to the back of the van. Inside was a two-seater plane. It was painted bright red and yellowish orange. The plane was totaled and crushed, so most of the paint was chipping. It had bullet holes throughout it. One of its wings was blown off, the other was curled upward, up toward the cockpit of the plane. The Tornado, the fox breathed his plane's name in astonishment. So, this is your plane, right? Manic asked with a smile. Robotnik sure did a number on it. My landing wasn't good either, the boy smirked. Did you make it? Its name is Tornado, right? Manic questioned. What a beautiful name. I wonder if she can go as fast as one. She can go faster, the fox beamed with pride over his now demolished invention. Well, I've got some tools. Why don't we work together to fix her up? If you still don't trust us by the time she's fixed, you can leave. No questions asked. But if you do trust us, will you at least tell us your name or a nickname? I like to have something else to call you other than dude. I can deal with this deal. The fox extended his hand. Good. We supply supplies and help. You get to learn if you trust us or not. The green hedgehog's eyes shined with joy as the two shook hands, making the deal solid. And this is the end of chapter 2.
Okay, that's
And apparently it
interesting.
took a minute because I had started school.
Yeah, I think I might have misunderstood something from chapter 1. Because in chapter 1, I was under the impression that this was Sonic and Manic meeting for the first time, but I think that was just me being confused because that was Tails meeting them for the first time.
Yeah, it's Tails meeting them for the first time. This story is Tails meeting them. The other one is the rewritten version, where I attempted to rewrite Sonic Underground, like a Sonic Underground AU, that I do want to eventually go back and, like, redo all together.
Yeah. I've mentioned that I wanted to write my own version of it, but I realized that my vision is just so big, I don't think I could do it. Because I want to, like, redo the whole show. I mean, I would probably want to skip some episodes, but, like, I want to give, like, all the filler characters... Well, not all of them, but I want to give, like, a lot of the filler characters more depth and make them, like, exist for longer than just one storyline. And also, I had this idea of, instead of there being a... I mean... Maybe there's a prophecy, but instead of, like, oh, we don't know why we can't see our mom, it's like, maybe there's some magical reason where they can't because some curse, and so they have to go around different places to find a bunch of MacGuffins, and those, like,
right.
Collecting all the MacGuffins will make them able to see their mom, and then that will help them defeat Robotnik. But then if I want to continue writing after that, because, like, I want infinite stars to Sonic, Sonia, and Manic, then we find out that that's not enough to defeat Robotnik, and then they just, like, have other story arcs. I don't know.
Yeah. I had one, like, I did an age chart where, like, I was specifically, going to, like, I was going to rewrite Sonic Underground in my own way, and, like, I had an age chart of what arc everyone would be introduced in, how old they would be upon their introduction. So, like, I had Shadow in there.
Yeah.
And everything. In fact, I've just found it. I can send it to you.
Yeah, okay.
Because each character had, like, Sonia wasn't given a middle name. Sonia was supposed to get a middle name, and she never got it.
Yeah, here's, like, oh.
Yeah, that's the age chart. It took a minute to find it.
Yeah, here's what I was thinking. I was, like, thinking Sonia, Sonic, and Manic meet in, like, the first story arc. Sonic already knows Tails at the beginning of this story, and then Sonic, Sonia, and Manic meet, and then, like, Tails builds them a van, and, like, there's a story reason for that van, but I haven't come up with a story reason. But I want there to be a story reason because I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I have, because I'm just like, I remember this. I added to it at some point.
Sonic Maurice Hedgehog, Sonia Hedgehog, Manic Jaleel Hedgehog. I love the Jaleel.
Yeah, Manic got the voice actor for a middle name.
Yeah, and then Sonia just doesn't have a middle name.
Yeah, Sonia's the only one I didn't give a middle name for. She needs to. It'll probably be one of the characters from the Sonic manga.
Sally.
Because this is...
Alkia Acorn. Oh, I had a dream at some point where it was just like, it was about Sonic Underground, and Sally was there, and she had a crush on Sonia. And I woke up from that dream, and I was like, maybe I should put that in my AU.
Right. I saw, like, some Sonic fan art where it's Sonia crushing on Amy. I'm just over here with Manic Shadow Ship right now. That's where I'm at.
Wow, you have so many characters in here.
Yeah, I had plans. Like, I had some major plans to introduce people. I also listed their birthdays. I gave them birthdays for some of them.
Yeah,
I had to have Hershey and Jeffrey because my sister loves those characters.
I wish that, like, the vision that I have could just become a cartoon, but Sega wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, so, like, I had, like, Arc 9 was gonna be where Shadow got introduced. Yeah, so, like, I had arcs, and different arcs were gonna be different video games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I would apparently get Mighty and Ray in Arc 5. I kind of want to revisit this and, like, rework it because I want to change some things and switch stuff up. But I don't have the original Word document this chart was in, so I would have to remake the whole thing, which is fine.
I don't feel like listening to more of this, like,
trash dumpster fire that I created.
Well, it's not that it's low quality or anything. I just don't feel like it. I want to, because I have limited screen time and I want to do something else right now. I get kind of bored. But that was cool. Fun.
Yes.
I know that. Okay, actually, before I talk about what I want to do, let's, like, wrap up the podcast episode.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy my weird fan fiction.
Yes.
I hope you all had a good day.
Yeah. Until next time, see you in another Sonic Second.
Sonic Second. I can be found pretty much anywhere online under the name Chrissy Duffy. I am most active on YouTube and Tumblr currently.
For podcast questions, you can email me through staplersound@gmail.com. As for social media, my main account on Tumblr and Twitter is Magical Stapler, with my art account being Stapler Art. You can also commission me at ko-fi.com/staplerart/commissions. That's ko-fi.com/staplerart.
La 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 قنفذ السريع بطل فظيع أجل لا يستسيغ الفشل يهوى النشاط والعمل قنفذ الشجاع ظريف محبوب حسن الطباع ذكي موهوب سريع البديهة واسع الخيال هيا فلنبقيها صورته في البال قنفذ السريع بطل فظيع أجل لا يستسيغ الفشل يهوى النشاط والعمل مهما تفوقت الآلات يبقى العقل هو الأقدر سخر علمك للخيرات وبعد عن طرقات الشر مغامرات فنفور